Everyone right now is selling you speed. Build an app in 30 seconds. Just describe it, vibe code it, let the AI figure it out. I don't care if it's messy, loop it through the night with multiple agents automatically. Get up in the morning. If it's messy, throw more tokens at it and fix it later. It looks amazing, the demo. It sounds cool, but here's what nobody's telling you. Eventually, if you don't understand what you built, a few weeks later, you're sitting on a tangled mess of code that you don't understand. You can't fix it. You can't hand it to anyone. And you don't build something. You just generated something, and you've got a huge mess on your hands. I've seen that. I've seen people that are in my cohort for 2 years. They've had this idea in their head, and they've tried to vibe code, and they're trying to do it, and they ended up with this sloppy mess. And I've helped them clean it up with this method I'm going to show you, and it's a better way. And I'll show exactly how it works in the next few minutes. But step back for a second, and I want you to think about what's happening here, because it's bigger than any tool or any kind of flavor of the month technique that you see from some of these vibe coders. In the entire history of software, if you wanted to build something, it meant you needed to get a software development team. You had to hire engineers, right? You had to raise money, and you had to wait months and a back and forth. And how many times was it over budget, never on time? That door to really create something custom was closed to all of us that weren't software engineers. And for the first time ever, it's now open to all of us. You can build the exact software you need yourself. If you can think about it, you can build it. I'll stand on that hill. The question is no longer whether if you can build it. The question comes, can you build it right and not build a mess? And here's the thing that the smartest people in AI fully agree on, and it's that the hard part in doing all of this is no longer typing the code. That was a specialist field that is no longer really there. The AI does it well, and everybody who's an expert in software engineering will agree with that. The hard part in doing all of this, which I've been saying for the past 3 years, is that seeing the big picture is the skill or the hardest part in all of using AI tools successfully, no matter what tool, but specifically in coding. It's, can you communicate and orchestrate and coordinate between the tools, telling the machine clearly what you actually want and why? That is the most difficult piece. And if you think about it, that's a leadership problem. That's a communication problem. That's not a technical skill. And so I want you to get comfortable with that. So if you're in an organization and you've been doing big picture type stuff, which a lot of you probably have, you can be successful at doing this. Yes, I have a computer science degree, but my reason for being successful in doing this and delivering software projects, over 35 projects over the last 18 months, doesn't really have anything to do with my computer science degree. It does have a lot to do with my passion for leadership, communication, seeing the big picture. Jobs that I've had in corporate America and flying planes demanded that I see the big picture. And so the people who win in this brand new economy are the ones who can think it through, direct it, and see the big picture. So I agree. People in the software development field and the AI field, they agree with me there, but they stop. I take it a little bit further. They tell you that to do this is just get better at prompting and throw more money and more tokens at it and wish you luck. I don't agree with that. You can't turn that into an actual system. I like systems. As a pilot myself, I like processes, I like systems, I like checklists. And now I think I've developed a system that's a right way to use this moment in history instead of wasting. So I come up in this 120x architect builder philosophy, this method. And I'd also developed, because you guys asked for it, a project launcher that helps get it started. It reduces the friction of getting the project started, which is the hardest part. It works like this. You have two personalities within your coding tool, an architect and a builder. So much like building your house, you can go straight to a builder and have them build your dream house, but it's not as effective as if you have two personalities. If you have an architect that you can sit down with, and their job is to extract your vision, your dream of your build house, and come up with detailed plans that leaves no ambiguity to the builder on what to build and why. And so that is at the heart, the philosophy behind all of this. So the architect plans what to build and why in plain English before any code gets written. The builder then takes that plan, that detailed plan, and writes the code, and it stops and asks you and the architect before it touches anything for its approval. And this whole communication, this whole handoff lives in a disciplined folder file system. not in a bunch of ambiguous chats or detailed chats in a chat tool or LLM tool or a coding tool. It's in this disciplined file structure so nothing ever gets lost. This is the file folder structure that I used way back in 1990, 1991 when I got my computer science degree. It's the same discipline. The AI tools just make it easier to do. Let me show you how. It starts here in the project launcher, deciding what you want to build in a new project. But even before the project launcher, hopefully you brainstormed a business problem, who's it for, how it should work. And if you've brainstormed it in a large language model, I encourage you to do that outside of the project launcher. Then you can take a prompt from the project launcher and go extract that wonderful information from your brainstorm and bring it back into here and paste it, and you can fill out this whole form for you in seconds. This intake form is critical because what happens is once you pick how serious a build it is, a quick personal tool, something internal or full external product, you hit generate and it will create a complete project folder. That is the key. That is why the project launcher is so critical, because you get this disciplined folder structure with all the rules and the architect builder methodology inside of it. You download it, unzip it, drop it into your computer, and this folder becomes the heart and brain of everything. It's got the discipline and the structure built in. That is the method that you're paying for. So you open that folder in your coding tool. You can use Codex. In this case, I'm going to use Claude Code here. And if you use Claude Code, I can just type /architect and watch what happens. It reads everything in that discipline folder structure, and then it talks to me like a person. It says, here's where we are, here's what we're building, here's what we're deciding today. No jargon. It guides me through some questions, and we plan it together. Once we're aligned, it writes the plan in what we call an architect pack. Straight into the folder. I didn't have to organize a thing. And once the pack is written, then I can start a new session in the same tool and just type /build. And here's the part I love. It starts to write a plan. And before it writes a single line of code, it stops. It shows me its exact plan and asks for my permission. I take it back to the architect, that second set of eyes, the someone who sees the big picture, and then we approve it together. Nothing happens to my project without my okay. We approve it, and then it goes to work. And while it builds, let me show you this mission control part of the launcher. I connect it to my project folder right here in this browser, and it shows me exactly where I am and what to do next. In plain English, I can read everything that the architect wrote without digging through the files. And if you started a project weeks ago, I can even tell you when the method is out of date, and we can update it for you automatically within this tool. When the builder finally finishes, it writes a summary of where things stand, and then you can go back to the architect and you can plan the next piece. Back and forth, repeating that loop, all in one tool, all tracked within the folder until your project is complete. So think about what you actually have here. Your plan is captured. It's not lost in a chat. You catch the bad ideas while they're still cheap words, no expensive code. A human, and your architect, approves before anything gets built. And at the end, you understand what you built and you can trust it. The last part is everything, because speed wins when you're just messing around or you're trying to wow people with an MVP or a demo. But for anything you actually want to keep, anything you actually want to deliver to a client and get paid for, anything that has your name on it, you want to understand it. You want it to still work next month when you decide to add a new feature, and it makes it easy to add a new feature. And understand what this really is. For the first time in history, anyone, and I mean anyone, if they have the ability to see the big picture, they have some curiosity, and they have some tenacity, can build the exact software they need. No team, no fortune, no waiting, no software development team. This is the opportunity that is sitting in front of all of us. The project launcher is simply how you take it without building something that falls apart. It gets you going the right way. That's the whole idea. Move deliberately. Build things that last. Right now, I got about 105 people as of this recording who have bought the project launcher and they're building things. And the feedback has been incredible. Some are software engineers saying this is the right way. They've been software engineers for 25, 30 years, and they say this tool is amazing. I just shipped the biggest update yet based on the feedback I got from a handful of these people who are using the tool. And because of that, the price is going to go up soon. Right now, you can still get the launcher at that founding price of $149. But in about 7 days or so, as the time of this recording, it goes up to 197. So if you've been on the fence, this is the moment. The link is below. Grab it at the founding price. Watch the full walkthrough on the website. You can watch this video right here, and you can also see the full walkthrough of how it works. And I want you to start building something real today. This is the best time in the history of the planet to be an entrepreneur. This is the time to be creative. These are the type of tools that you can use that can radically change your life. It's changed mine, and I'm not looking back. I can't wait to see what you make.